Have you ever felt the weight of regret? The years you thought were wasted, the dreams that slipped through your fingers like sand blown away in the wind. What if I told you that those lost years can be restored, that your broken dreams can be reimagined? C.S. Lewis, one of the greatest voices of faith and reason, understood the struggle of disappointment, yet he offered profound insight into how God renews what was once lost. In this video, you'll discover how Lewis's timeless wisdom can guide you to trust that your story is far from over. Stay with me until the end, and I promise you this: you will walk away not only with a renewed faith in God's power to restore, but with hope that your greatest chapters are still ahead. Asterisk. By the end of this message, you'll understand how even your deepest losses can be turned into sources of strength and purpose. Lewis once wrote, "God is not hurried along in the time stream of this universe any more than an author is hurried in the imaginary time of his own novel." He believed that our perception of lost time is limited by our human understanding. To us, a year lost feels irretrievable, but to God, time bends, stretches, and redeems itself in unimaginable ways. When Lewis spoke of restoration, he often addressed this longing for what was once good and whole. He reminded his audience that dwelling on regret can trap us in a cycle of bitterness. Instead, he called for us to see our pain as part of a larger narrative. He shared this remarkable image in The Great Divorce. Souls in heaven look back on their earthly lives and see even the darkest moments transformed into glory. It's not that the suffering itself was erased, but that it was redeemed. What if the lost years in your life aren't merely forgotten but repurposed? Asterisk. You can't go back and change the beginning, but you can start where you are and change the ending. In Scripture, the prophet Joel speaks to a broken nation. "I will restore to you the years that the locusts have eaten." This promise resonates because it acknowledges real loss but refuses to end the story there. C.S. Lewis built upon this biblical truth, not by ignoring sorrow but by daring to hope for joy. Lewis's own life was marked by deep personal loss: his mother's death when he was just a boy, the years he spent as an atheist, and later, the heartbreaking loss of his beloved wife, Joy. Yet he didn't stay in despair. He wrote these profound words: "Pain insists upon being attended to. God whispers to us in our pleasures, speaks in our conscience, but shouts in our pain. It is his megaphone to rouse a deaf world." Asterisk. Lewis reminded us that the story of God's restoration isn't just about what's given back, it's about who we become in the process. He believed that even the hardest chapters could prepare us for something greater than we ever imagined. What about broken dreams? How do we trust God when the dreams we cherished seem shattered beyond repair? Lewis wrestled with these questions, too. In A Grief Observed, he poured out his anguish, saying, "Where is God when you need him?" But by the end of that journey, he discovered a deeper truth. God's silence is not absence, it is an invitation to trust. He often spoke of surrender, not a passive resignation but an active trust. Lewis wrote, "Give up yourself, and you will find your real self." It is only in releasing our expectations that we make room for God's far better plan. Imagine a tapestry being woven. From underneath, it appears messy, loose threads and tangles. But from above, a beautiful design emerges. Lewis urged us to trust the divine weaver who sees the completed picture even when we cannot. Asterisk. So, how do we live out this truth today? How do we hold on to hope in the midst of ongoing uncertainty? Lewis believed that hope was not mere wishful thinking but a discipline of the soul. He wrote, "Aim at heaven and you will get earth thrown in. Aim at earth and you will get neither." Hope anchors us in God's promises rather than our fleeting circumstances. Here's what restoration looks like in practice: forgiving ourselves for past mistakes, embracing the present moment, and daring to dream again. Lewis taught that each step toward hope is an act of faith. Every prayer uttered in the dark, every small decision to trust again, these are seeds planted in the soil of restoration. Asterisk. As we close, remember this: you are not forgotten. The years you thought were wasted can become fertile ground for new growth. The dreams you believed were shattered can be resurrected into something even more meaningful. C.S. Lewis reminded us that God's restoration isn't a quick fix, it's a masterpiece in progress. So, trust the process. The author of your story is not done writing. Asterisk, there are far, far better things ahead than any we leave behind. C.S. Lewis. If this message resonated with you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who may need this encouragement today. And if you're inspired by the wisdom of C.S. Lewis, make sure to subscribe for more insights that uplift and transform.